Okay, this is a case where we're going to do deep marginal elevation. And this is one of the struggles you have when you have a deep margin. What will happen if you're going to place this matrix in place, okay? What will happen? Even if I place this part, the deep part, towards the gingival margin, what will happen with the matrix? Okay? What will happen? These edges will keep bumping into the coll area or the gingival, صح? It will not wrap around the tooth because this gingival level is higher than the gingival level here. Okay? It will prevent you from sitting more deep. What will many times happen that when you place the matrix, here it's adapted, here it's floating above the margin because the margin is very deep here. Okay? It's between the teeth. This is just a cast model. I hope it shows the idea, but you will always suffer from this gingiva. Okay? So if I place the matrix as it is, okay, it will not allow me to go deep here. So one of the methods, if I'm going to wrap this like, let's say like this, okay, suppose this, I'm going to place the narrower area towards the gingiva. I'm supposed to do that. Okay, let's show from here. Okay, suppose this is the gingiva, and I'm going to place it here. What will happen? The gingiva buccally and palatally and distally will prevent me from seating. Okay, one of the ideas is, why not see the area that's going to go into the deep marginal gingiva, leave it deep, and remove all of the edges from the rest. Okay, it will give you some adaptation. Some people will place a regular matrix and then place a cervical matrix, the one that comes alone with the, it's like rounded like a leaf, okay, and it has a holder. But so this matrix, it's a sectional matrix. It is for the cervical areas, a cervical matrix. So they will place the matrix here and then add this matrix in between and wedge it. Okay, so the cervical matrix will be held by what? By the regular matrix. Okay, so they wedge it in. This is one of the techniques. Okay, now the other technique is buying a specific deep gingival margin matrix. But this matrix we can do it from this matrix. It is a pattern. Okay, if we cut this pattern from this matrix, you will automatically get a deep marginal matrix. So what is the pattern? We remove from this area, okay, to avoid the gingiva. So we removed here. We leave this thick because this is where the Toffelmeier will be holding the matrix. Huh? We leave this area for holding with the Toffelmeier. We remove this area to avoid the coll here. We remove this area to avoid the coll here. And we remove all of the height because we don't want it floating in a vertical motion because we want an emergence profile. If I don't remove this, okay, the matrix will fit on the deep, let's say here, the matrix will fit in the deep marginal area, but this will be going straight upwards. When I remove this part of the matrix above this gingival area, it will become short. It will only be floating from the gingival margin, the deep gingival margin, upwards only 2 millimeters. But this is sufficient for me to get a seal and to build a base, from which later on I will use the regular matrix and continue my work. Okay, so it is specified, this deep gingival matrix is specified only to build up the first 2 millimeters, not horizontally, vertically, sorry, in a horizontal manner, but in a rounded manner. It will take the correct emergence profile from the tooth. So it will be in this direction. Why? Because this, you see, I'm going to cut it. All of this is cut. Let's say if this is the direction of it. Okay, let me just adjust the direction. Say this is the direction of the cutting. Just a moment. Okay, so why did I remove this? Because I don't want it going upwards from the gingival margin. I want it to adapt and go outwards to create the correct gingival profile, emergence profile. Okay, so all of this is cut. This is going into the deep margin and gingiva. These are now avoiding the gingiva around the tooth. Okay, so let me cut it. Could you please hold the camera? So I'm going to bring the scissors. So it's a pattern. I'm going to provide you with a link for a paper that also contains this pattern and shows you how to do it. But you can cut it. By the way, there are some ready-made deep marginal elevation matrices. But these are expensive, you're going to buy them. But why not use something that you have in the clinic? So see the V shape, this is the deep area, okay? I'm going to cut laterally. From the deep area, I'm going to cut laterally, leaving a thick area at the edges for the Toffelmeier to hold, because you're going to pin it with the Toffelmeier. See? So what did I avoid? The margin. But the problem with scissors is that they leave sometimes sharp margins. So make sure you run a diamond bear, just to round these out. These are sharp now, okay? Make sure you don't cut them and leave them. These will be traumatizing the gingiva. So cut them and then just trim them with a diamond bear or something like just to smooth the edges, okay? Now this is now going to the gingiva. Once more, this is going to the gingiva. It's going deep. When I remove the upper part, I'm changing the emergence profile. So it's no longer flat, forcing me to go vertically from the deep marginal gingiva. No. Now, when I'm going to wrap it around the tooth, okay, what will happen? I'm going to wrap it. See the emergence profile from the tooth? It will go outwards. But see, it also doesn't cover unless just 2 to 3 millimeters from the filling. So it will work, okay? It will work deep. It could go deeper. If I find that this is interfering with the gingiva, I concave it even more. Okay, I keep concaving it until it's no longer interfered by the gingiva. I could concave it from here if I'm going distally, but still I have a handle to put in the Toffelmeier. Okay, now how is the emergence profile going? Outwards. It's not covering the full occlusal depth. I could even make it even thinner. The most important 2 to 3 millimeters are the ones in the deep gingival margin. These are the ones, the most important 2 millimeters in the whole filling, because these are the ones that need moisture control. These are the ones you want to control the emergence profile. These are the ones that you want to put a good wedge if you're going to. Sometimes you might even not need a wedge here, because it's totally fit. Because the way I cut it, it becomes grasping by itself. It goes into the undercuts of the tooth. So all of these allow me to place the first 1 to 3 millimeters, depending on how deep it is. I place them with a base material as recommended, and then I could go back to the regular matrix, put it in the upper part, and do a filling as usual. Okay, so this is how I create it, and I'm going to bring you show you a paper. If it's more deep, suppose it's more deep, simply I cut more from these. Okay, if it was more deep, I could concave it even more. I keep removing until no interference from the gingiva is present, and the profile, because you know there is a clavicular pocket, so I couldn't place it even deeper. Okay, and it's retained by itself by going to the root area, which is the most constricted part, so it is already in an undercut. You might even not need a wedge if the emergence profile is going in the correct direction. Okay, thank you.